Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. Do I have a good video for you today? I have a video about a contraband seizure that happened in Oklahoma, and it's really interesting of what they found and what they caught and what's going to happen. It reminded me a lot about all the contraband that is in prison as well. So before I get started, please check us out on YouTube member programs. Check us out on Patreon. Check us out on Discord. Please go to the Real Deal podcast. The Real Deal with Larry Lawton. It's a podcast that we're having a lot of fun with. See a lot of great guests as well. Remember, everybody, we got our cigar launch. The cigar launch is September 1st, and we're going to have pre-orders here in another week or so, so stay tuned to our channel for that. And now, everybody, I appreciate everything. Of course, get some merch. Support us in whatever way you can. We are working hard to try to give you guys as much as we can. All right, everybody. This story really was hit me. It was sent to me by one of the fans. And boy, when I hear about contraband and stuff like that in prison, boy, my memory goes crazy because that's what, I remember very well. First of all, let me tell you what happened. Authorities uncover a large prison contraband operation. And this is in Oklahoma Department of Corrections. This story did come out July 30th, only a week ago, less than a week ago, and it's pretty interesting. Oklahoma City. State authorities uncovered what is believed to be the largest contraband seizure in Oklahoma Department of Corrections history, and it was done by the Office of the Inspector General. Think of what I just said. This is the largest contraband seizure. Now, obviously, look at all this stuff right here. I mean, first of all, here's what it is. Intelligence gathered by the Interdiction Division of the Office of Inspector General pointed investigators to a storage unit in Oklahoma City, the agency announced in a press release. First of all, we know what that means. That means it was a rat, that somebody ratted them out. Somebody higher up in this organization that got this stuff into prison ratted them out. And what happened here is, again, I watched contraband come into prison so many ways. Obviously through the visiting room. You get to suitcase it and you'd see multiple things come in through the visiting room. Of course, the number one way is guards. Guards would bring stuff in, then make money, do what we had to do in prison. And there's other ways, and I'm going to tell you that here right in a minute. A search warrant for the storage unit, obtained in conjunction with the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, allowed agents to enter the unit on July 15th. Inside, agents from both agencies discovered a warehouse-sized operation for contraband drops, which contained everything from drugs and tobacco to cell phones and drones. That is fucking wild. Drones. I didn't have that shit when I was in prison, but I totally get it. And what they do with drones, obviously, is fly over a prison and have something on it and land it or drop it right in the facility, and someone picks it up later at a specific spot and time on the yard. Items seized from the storage unit included 30 pounds of marijuana, 2.2 pounds of methamphetamine, 2,400 cannabis pills, never did that, a large number of cannabis edibles, 35 pounds of tobacco. Tobacco is worth a lot of money in prison, everybody. Really is, a lot of money. 31 cell phones and 2 drones. Agents also discovered a supply of cell phone chargers, lighters, grappling hooks used for contraband package retrieval, as well as plexiglass, all intended to be smuggled into Oklahoma prisons. Now, the grappling hooks are something where you can throw out a window and pull up a line or something, and then you can get whatever contraband is in there. Or if you had a hole in a wall, but it wasn't a human-sized hole, and you had a space behind that wall, you can use that grappling hook to go down and get what's in between that wall. That is done a lot. Also, the plexiglass I didn't get unless it was going to be in there for a like making of a false wall or something of that nature. The plexiglass, I still don't get why you would smuggle plexiglass in, but that's something new to me. What we used to do for contraband, everybody, is we had so many hiding spots. When I was in USP Atlanta, it was such an old facility. They had like plaster walls. So what we would do there, there'd be holes in the walls. So we had a hole in the wall about that big. And what we would do is we had a key to the door. And I don't mean the door to get in and out. I mean the door like a screw key that can open up the plate of the door, and then you could put books or stamps in between the door. The door's that wide, in between it was hollow, and you could get stuff in there, and then you'd have to retrieve it with a hook, or you put it on a rope, or actually guys were really creative. They would put a piece of wood that filled exactly the size, and then you could pull the wood up, and then whatever's in there would bring it up, and you can get it out and fish it out with your fingers, or fish it out even with something you'd make like almost like a chopsticks, and you'd get something like that outside the door from inside the door. But the key, though, everybody, was what we did was you take a key, because once they find a key somewhere, it's over. Whatever you're using that key for, and I'm not talking just escape. I'm talking about getting into a certain door to hide wine or something of that nature. You found a way to get something through, and what would happen, everybody, was you take that key. We'd put it on the end of a key. We would take a piece of tape, go put it through that hole, the plaster hole in the cell, push the key through, it would go down. You tape that inside the hole now, you tape that key, and make sure you taped it good. I remember using your fingers to get it really tight, because you don't want it to drop. If you drop, you lose it. And we tape that key inside the wall. Then we would take toilet paper, wet toilet paper, and we would put it in that plaster spot, and it would look like it was just plaster, and then we'd paint over it with paint. Literally paint over it with paint. We had the paint of the wall, and that was given to us by CMS. So now we painted over. It looked like any other spot on the wall. You couldn't tell, because there was so many holes, and it was all old, there was old plaster and shit like that. So everything inside that prison, it looked just exactly like it. You'd have to check every stupid mark on the whole prison just to find out what ones were being done like that. And that didn't happen. Now, item C's they talked about Oklahoma prison. In addition to the contraband, agents discovered 4 firearms and a stockpile of ammunition, along with $8,500 in counterfeit United States currency. That becomes a different animal. First of all, counterfeiting money is a federal offense. It is a Secret Service job, what they do. Now, why would you have counterfeit dollars? Well, was it sent to them for the buying of drugs? Like somebody in prison buys something, and then they have to send them money. That's called street-to-street money. If I'm in prison and I sell you drugs, and it's $1,000, you then say, okay, I got you that. And you call your people in the street, and you say, hey, everything's going, I'm doing legal work, I need some stuff. And I'd have a different name, obviously, than Larry Lawton. And they'd say, hey, can you send blah, 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 $1,000? I'm getting my legal work done, all stuff. And the prison don't know. It's nobody in that prison. They don't know if it's just a regular legal call or whatever, or you want to do something with money. And they don't know. So all of a sudden, I got my $1,000. Now, did the people send counterfeits? So my people said, okay, I got the money, Larry, so I'm not killing this guy in prison? Because I would call my people and say, hey, did you get anything from blah, blah, blah? And he'd tell it on the phone, not on the phone, but they'd do it and say, hey, listen, have grandma send Larry's people. But he wouldn't say that on the phone. Now, he would either get a visit or sometimes over the phone, just say, hey, listen, make grandma send that for me, please. Thank you. And now grandma's name will be the one I'm looking for as a guy who's a dealer in prison. And believe me, I had a guy in prison I was good friends with. He's making $10,000 a month. You know what I just said? $10,000 a month in contraband and stuff of that nature. So when you think about it, you're talking about a whole different operation. They have actual operations like this. Now this is a big operation. You're talking about a warehouse setup, and there's a lot of people involved. I wouldn't be surprised if you've seen a lot of indictments come out from this, inside and outside the set. Has to be somebody on the outside running this operation. I mean, they know where it is. If they got to the warehouse, they know who owns it and stuff of that nature. Now what happens, we don't know. Well, anyway, this incredibly large seizure is the direct result of a commitment to preventing these things from winding up in one of our facilities where they possess a danger to inmate and staff alike. They had everything there that you would need to try to get contraband dropped into the facility. Some of the drops were already wrapped and are ready for delivery. Obviously, that's how you deliver it. Woodward estimated the value of the seizure contraband to be hundreds of thousands of dollars and said he expected to be filing charges on numerous individuals upon the completion of this ongoing investigation. No question that there is a lot of indictments coming down. Like when he says getting the packages ready. Oh, another way they get drugs into prison is they would take a tennis ball, cut a tennis ball in half, or not totally in half, cut it, and then stuff it with whatever, heroin or whatever drug you wanted in, just a tennis ball. Now they glue that tennis ball closed. Totally good. Make sure it's good. Bounce it around, do whatever you want. And then they'd wing that tennis ball over the wall in Atlanta. See, now you gotta remember, USP Atlanta, I'm just talking about this facility at this point. USP Atlanta had 40-foot walls, 20 feet underground, 3 foot thick, the whole works. But it's in a city. It's next to the zoo in Atlanta. Literally pretty much down the street from the zoo, and it is in the city limits. So you can get a person walking by that facility, and there is a spot you can throw stuff and throw it onto the yard. Now, if you can do that at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and have your guy who knows what's going on goes for the yard at 6 a.m. and what does he do? He knows the ball's there. He gets on the yard and he just can start looking for it. That's exactly what happens, and that happened many times. Most facilities you can do that. Now, a lot of the facilities that would have been hard at Lewisburg. Lewisburg was up on a mountain, and to get up around there, there's nobody normal just sitting around that area. And let's go camping outside the prison wall. No, usually that's a government property, and there's signs nobody's allowed to enter, and they will get rid of you because they have rover guards as well. So now, but facilities of especially mediums and low, I showed you a video. If you have not seen this video, everybody, go to the playlist and look at the video I did when I went to Jessup Camp. I went to actually Jessup Medium and then the camp, and I did videos all around it. And I show people this whole area where you could pretty much walk off the place as a camp inmate. Now, they don't have any kind of violence and stuff of that nature on their case, so they're a whole different animal. But this, I could take that guy, a ball or anything, and throw that right over that area, and it's on the yard. It's literally on the softball field. Nobody would know it. The only way would know it if the guard was happening to walk on the track and the ball came flying over. I don't know if you do that at night, but they also had that, everybody, in the medium, which I looked at. You could pretty much get to that one too. A lot of them you could get to them without being arrested if you even got caught. I'm hiking this area, or I'm looking for deer, or whatever it is, and that happens all the time as well, because it's contraband, everybody. I mean, you don't want to get caught with it and then get a charge. I mean, even if it's not a major charge, you're going to get charged with something. You're going to get charged as a person with possession, or possession and intent to distribute, or with a ball and being outside of prison. They might even try to get you with attempted to introduction of a contraband into a federal institution, which is a minimum mandatory 5-year prison sentence. So there's a lot of things they can do if they catch you into something like this. Of course you're not hoping to get caught, but contraband is everywhere. When I read this, it was a pretty good seizure of people from the outside. I'm more intrigued to see how they got caught. Was it an inside guy? I'm not even buying that. I'll tell you why. I don't think the inside people really had a clue of where the facility was. Maybe they did. Maybe the guy on the inside set it up and had, the information for that. But you don't need to know where that is. I don't know how they got somebody who knew where that facility was. I'm talking about the warehouse. And unless it was told on, how are you going to find that out? There isn't a way you could. It's not like they, just were caught accidentally, going into the wrong unit, or a neighbor in the unit got, something happened. The place that rents the place happened to look in there by mistake sometime and saw all the stuff and said, what is going on here? I don't buy that at all. I really don't. I buy that it's somebody in the inner circle on the outside of this prison. Now, it's funny what they say on this video as well, is because this video doesn't have what prison. It says Oklahoma prisons. Was it an operation run by law enforcement? Meaning one of the guards set that up. That sounds more feasible than any other way. Have a prison official do something like this. You know, it's funny, my brother and I were talking yesterday, and we were talking about all the corruption and how the guards do things, and we were talking about the Atlanta video, because we both watched it again, the article, you know, how bad Atlanta is with the 41, you know, it's only 42% capacity now because of all the problems in the facility. And they transfer the guards. Obviously, great. Transfer the guards so the guards can figure out how to make money at the next prison by doing stuff illegal. But besides that, I'm not yelling at guards. I'm not doing anything. I'm thinking, what an opportunity for guards to put something together and actually make millions of dollars, because it's going throughout the facilities. If any operation like this goes through every prison, it's off the charts. Now, if you're an official, you have a better way of getting it in, and you could tell somebody else in another prison, a good friend of yours that went to the academy, or whatever it is for that matter. You could have did that. You could have gotten a hold of another person or two and said, listen, I'm making X amount of dollars. Nothing can happen. It's just bullshit. Fucking come on board with me and we're going to really make a lot of money. That could totally happen, and it does happen. And I look at that and say, wow. The whole facility and the whole prison system is such a game, and it really is a game, everybody. But I think you understand now about this case. Contraband went into this facility pretty much at will. There's a lot of money being made. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video, everybody. I hope you learned something about contraband. Thanks always for sending stuff. If you're fans out there and you want me to kind of look at something, check it out, please. Email me. I do a lot of that, and I use some of the clips and stuff like that they have. So have a great day, everybody. Much love, much respect. Please make good choices. You don't belong coming here to prison. Have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for all the information on the giveaways and stuff like that we're doing. Have a great day.